How's it going, sir?
It's going well. I'm excited. I'm always excited to do this show, and I guess that's a good sign. I realize I just sounded like McConaughey, but I'm okay with that.
All right.
How are you?
Good, sir. Just took a drink of water. I got a little tickle in my throat.
Oh.
Not in a good way either.
Do we need to pause?
And no, I think we're good.
We're 17 seconds in, and Trey needs to pause.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can get past
You're
the
good?
tickle. I'm good.
We'll move on.
Ryan,
Yes, Trey.
I found a great headline.
A great headline.
A great headline.
I always want to hear a great headline, so throw it at me.
It's actually from our favorite state also,
I'm going to say that would be Florida.
our Floridians.
Right.
So the headline is Florida man arrested for torching a car.
Okay. For torch. Okay.
Yeah. The car actually belonged to his cousin,
Okay.
who also happened to be his girlfriend.
What? Are you okay?
I read that shit and I was like, oh, I've got to say
Well, it
this
sounds
on
like there should be a typo or something on it.
No, yeah.
So his girlfriend is his cousin, and he burned her car. He like blew up her car.
Torched the car.
But why?
Oh, it didn't say
Was she
that.
banging the other cousin?
And I actually screenshotted some of the comments because they were great.
Okay, yeah, give me some of those.
So it jumped in there. It says, of course, the first one is, and this is the state that tripled down on anti-education legislation. So
Fair enough.
that works out.
Okay, fair enough.
Sweet Jesus, what the fuck is in the water down there for real? Next one, just a couple of cousins mething around. It's Florida. Nothing to see here.
I like that. That was you.
Yeah, that was mine. Says, as a Floridian, so this is a guy from Florida, I'm sure meth was involved one way or another.
Okay.
And then, of course, the last one, this probably was mine too. Almost every stupid criminal story comes out of that state. Nothing shocks anymore when it starts. Justin from Florida.
He signed it proudly. He's like Justin from Florida.
So yeah,
Last name, address. That's pretty funny.
good old Florida. Thank you for the.
Well,
the
and you know
stories.
all the stereotypical incestual states are west of there. You know, like the Mississippis and the Alabamas. They get a bad name.
It's actually
This
Florida.
is Florida, huh?
Yeah,
Fair enough. Well,
fun times.
well, good intro for the show.
Thank you, Florida.
I'm not sure where to go from there. we always find a way. So
We'll figure something out.
I guess I should go ahead. I'll just mention really fast that you know, on the last show we were talking about all the reels and the shorts, they call them, the kids these days.
I'm not gonna lie. The last time when you were talking about shorts, I thought you were actually talking about
about clothing.
It took me a while to figure out why the fuck is he talking about shorts right now?
YouTube calls them shorts,
Oh, okay.
and apparently that's where it's at, my man. Because ever since I started doing these shorts, if you will, we're getting it's like crazy amount of people that look at these things, and like I mentioned before, it seems to be that the teenagers. I say teenagers. I mean, easily could be
The young
anybody.
people, yeah.
But they flip through these things really fast because of attention span.
They have none.
They have none. And so you have to catch everything I've ever read is that do something to catch their attention.
Yeah.
Well, I think our mugs probably catch some
Look at these old guys.
attention in a way. But what I've realized, and I said it in the last show, and I'm going to say it again because I have more specifics now, is that I'm getting more comments.
Oh, nice.
And
Okay.
but what comes with that is also some of these dislikes.
Uh-oh.
But don't get me wrong, if you look at our percentages, Trey, and I'm not lying,
We're still.
they're all 80-90% likes. But
It's all the ladies.
it's those, right?
Yeah.
But it's all these dislikes that are starting to get to me, and I'm like, I want to know. And so, then you get a comment that goes against kind of maybe my opinion on whatever it is that we're talking about and I have to remind myself that this is kind of a business. This is a show where our whole premise is to be neutral and to try and hear all sides.
We want the interaction too.
It's the interaction.
Yeah.
But that is my last instinct.
I know you will.
When I see a comment, I'm just like, fuck this guy. And then I'm like, all right, I have to reel it back in. I'm like, okay,
Come back.
no, we're staying in the gray, stay in the gray. And then my response is like, okay, fair enough, sir.
Fair enough, asshole.
Fair enough. Just, we here respect everybody's opinion, even though it's stupid.
Even though it's dumb.
No, we respect their opinions, and then I offer something like but consider this type of deal, and that's what we do. We want to talk. So I just thought that was good. We had just talked about it on the last show, and I'm just seeing more and more of it, and I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying doing these quick little clips of what we do, and it seems to be spreading. So
well, you're doing a good job at it, so I appreciate it.
I'm trying. We think so, but
Yeah.
I'm looking at our numbers, and I'm probably like, oh yeah, we're killing it, and in reality, we're like.
Hey, we're doing awesome. Damn
Okay,
it.
I like it. I like the momentum there. But how did you enjoy watching football this weekend?
Absolutely, yeah. The Longhorns won and Cowboys won. So
Blah 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 blah. The difference in this weekend is that my team also won.
you seemed a little bit
A
happier
little
today.
perkier
Yeah.
tonight, right? The universe is starting to at least give me a little bit of, last night the Steelers played on Monday Night Football, and that game could have gone. It was an ugly
That
win.
was a crazy game. Yeah.
Ugly win, and that could have easily gone against me, and I felt like, all right, thank you.
Yeah.
It actually went my way. And so we had a good football weekend, but I'm just enjoying. It's just something about it. You get to Thursday night games, and Friday, and you're going to weekend and football, and even now that I have kids, and I went down to watch the Aggie game, and I don't have a lot of time to watch it. There's something about just like checking the scores. And There's something about football,
Absolutely.
and of course fantasy
Love it.
and all that. And so I know I've got a guy up north who huge Bills fan, and he was going to be on the show, and I think he's going to hopefully come on and do some picks and things like that. But he was talking to me, and we're doing the Survivor and all that. It's just fun.
Absolutely.
So I hope everybody that likes football is enjoying it, and we'll keep it to a minimum. But
Well, I appreciate that segue because I've got a story about a Bills fan.
you're kidding. We have great segues on this show.
Yeah. It's almost like we know what we're
So
doing.
you have a story
little
about
bit.
a Buffalo Bills fan?
Buffalo Bills fan.
Is it our buddy?
Let's hope not. Have you heard from him lately?
I actually saw him while I was up that way a couple weeks ago, but that was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, this was this weekend. So.
Okay.
So it says a Buffalo Bills fan appears to have got a little overexcited at his team's home opener on Sunday.
Let me tell you, I interrupt, and but this one is legit. I promise.
This is a legit.
It's a legit interruption. I've been to Old Orchard, I believe is the name of the community, at Ralph Wilson Stadium.
Okay.
And I went with the previously discussed gentleman, and we took a road trip, and it was great.
I'll bet that was fun.
These Bills fans are. I mean, every fan says, "Oh, we're crazy." Steeler fans are crazy. Whatever. These Bills fans are pretty crazy.
Are they?
They're fun. I mean, they like to get up on and jump off of things into
tables and stuff like yeah.
You've heard of Bills Mafia and
Yeah.
all that. And it was you had one guy, and he was up there, and he was rapping. We pulled in a parking lot. It's like 3 hours before the game or something like that. And this guy's rapping, "Let's go Buffalo. Let's go Buffalo." But he literally didn't say another word. It was that for like an hour while we were tailgating. I was just like, how about a verse? How about a second verse? How about something else? It was great, but everybody
That poor
was.
guy.
So when you're telling me this story, I do have a good visual, and I wanted to give that to everybody else.
You can picture this.
They are wild, and they love their Bills.
Passionate.
So go ahead.
Hopefully one day they'll have a team where
Oof.
anyway. So
I love that.
got a little overexcited. Home opener. Ended up
This guy?
this guy.
Okay.
After a bizarre sequence of events, it says ended in him being rescued by emergency services from a 40-foot hole outside the stadium.
like a well?
So it says this unnamed
Okay, go ahead.
29-year-old who claims he was under the influence of alcohol, which makes sense,
Okay, right.
some marijuana,
Okay.
a little bit of LSD,
Oh, why not?
and if that wasn't enough, he went ahead and had some cocaine too.
Mm.
So
What's just a hybrid afternoon?
I mean, he was all
yeah.
kinds of fucked up. Anyway, says recovered by officials in a 20-minute rescue operation before the game. This was before the game.
The game hadn't kicked it yet. I mean, for those of you that don't know, Buffalo ended up kicking ass that day. They looked great, and this guy didn't even get to. Well, I don't know. I don't know the story. But he got himself in a situation before the game started.
So reportedly, security and fans situated outside the stadium advised cops they had seen a man stripped naked.
God.
Oh, it gets better.
I'm sure it does. I feel like every story we talk about, somebody's naked or stripping naked.
So he strips naked and at an on-site porta potty before covering himself in human he covered himself in poo.
Oh no.
So
come on.
He's on a cocktail of drugs and alcohol.
Come on.
Strips
I'd
naked.
say that's more than a cocktail, but go ahead.
And then rubs poo all over himself.
Okay. Give me a second. I'm trying to visualize this. So, okay. I'm just visualizing this guy just buggy-eyed, can't even move, and then he's like,
Where's his friends to stop this shit?
I'm just gonna rub shit on myself. But
right.
My question is on these porta potties. I'm not a porta potty expert, Trey. And here at Stay in the Great Podcast, I think we're proud that we're not.
Yes.
But how did he? Isn't it way down in there? Like, how did he get?
You got to go digging for that.
Jump in?
It didn't say.
Okay, fair enough. Go ahead.
So then he reportedly hopped the fence into a construction site for the new Bills Stadium, which is just west of the current home. Blah blah blah. Incredibly, and I guess that's where he ended up in the hole.
The hole is in the new stadium. Site. Sure.
Excuse me.
Where the new porta potty is going to go.
You're right. So it says, incredibly, after being rescued, the man's only injury was a cut above his forehead, and he was transported to the hospital where he was then evaluated by medical staff. So, all in all, I guess that ends up being a win-win for the guy. I guess he didn't get to see the game, but I guess in the hospital he got to see the game, maybe.
Maybe, yeah, I'm sure they had it on local network.
In the local precinct, I don't know where he ended up.
Well, if his goal was to see the Bills, then he failed. If his goal was to go somewhere and rub shit all over himself, then he had a good day.
So, yeah.
But what I want to know is, anybody that listened to our last show, we talked about a couple that was having sex on a rooftop.
Yes.
And they fell 50 feet and died.
Yeah.
This guy goes 40 feet into a hole. And he's just like a little cut above his eye.
No big deal.
Should this be a promotion for all sorts of drugs?
Well, either drugs or maybe the couple should have rubbed crap all over themselves while they were having sex.
You had to do I think the only thing that could have made that story better or worse is the crap. Yeah, the couple, because you would have told me the story like, oh, the couple they rolled off the roof and had sex. And by the way, there was excrement all over them.
They rubbed shit all over themselves before they.
Well, again, our buddy up in he's not in Buffalo, but he's up in the Northeast. He's a huge Bills fan since he was a kid, and he's proud of the Bills Mafia, but I'm not sure he's going to be so proud of this one.
No, I hope he listens to this one, though.
Well, I'll make him. I'll be like, we talked great about the Bills and your fans and how great they are and how intelligent they are.
Yeah, great. I don't know if that's the word we use, but yeah.
I think, knowing him, he'll just be like, yep, that sounds about right.
Us, yeah.
That was me.
Yeah. Well, he's not 29, though.
That's true. No, he looks good, but he's not 29. Yeah. But
that'd
anyway,
be great if he knew him. I'm surprised he hasn't reached out to you to tell you about this idiot.
I think
to have heard of this.
I think that there is maybe a little bit of embarrassment there. Like, okay, have you had a Cowboys fan, or I haven't heard of a Steeler fan or a Cowboys fan rubbing shit on themselves before the game. At least wait till after the game.
Right, after the win.
Like we won 38-10, and you're drunk and you rub shit on yourself.
Yeah.
But the game hadn't even started, and you're 0-1.
You missed the damn game.
You hadn't won yet.
What an idiot.
Anyway, that was funny. I like that story.
So yeah. Another little topic that I found.
Oh man, you're rolling them out.
Well, I mean, we've got football season going on, and of course, gambling. Yeah. Everybody likes
gambling,
whether it's fantasy football, whether it's betting on the over under, the spreads, all that kind of good stuff. So
we mentioned it last show. Also, even like my mom has fun with it.
Right.
People just enjoy. It makes a game like
random game.
Eastern Illinois versus Southern New Hampshire. Like, who gives a shit? But then all of a sudden, you're locked in. Got $10 on it. You're like a Southern New Hampshire fan. You got their gear on and shit.
The fighting New Hampshires, it's whatever the fuck they are.
It's just fun, and so and I did a little bit of it just for fun. I was never what you would call a high roller and all that.
Yeah.
But
just to make things interesting,
just to make it fun, and teasers and parlays and all that stuff. But
that's kind of what I started doing with the fantasy football thing.
Fantasy football, and then all that. Now this all these apps that you can gamble on,
daily fantasy and all that stuff. So
it's taken over. So gambling is not just placing bets with Vegas anymore. It's like kind of a combination of a bunch of things.
Right.
So you have a story about gambling.
I actually ran across the story, and it says, I guess since they've loosened betting restrictions back in 2018 on sports betting, it says Americans have lost a staggering. You want to take a guess at the amount?
2000 what? 18?
Since 2018.
So we're looking at 5 years ago. Since they've
loosened the restrictions around betting.
Well, sure.
Sports betting.
Oh my God! I mean, Jesus, $500 million.
So $245 billion with a
billion
B.
I meant billion. Oh my God! Really?
So it's
maybe this is a problem. Maybe we shouldn't be promoting this.
I love this where it says experts fearing gambling addiction has gripped the nation. It's like no shit.
That could clear the half our debt.
And it's saying that gamblers used to be forced to travel, like what you're saying, used to have to go to casinos, where they were exempt from national gambling. Which was exempt from a national gambling ban, along with Delaware, Oregon, and Montana. But since 1992, the ban was lifted. The industry become high growth tech business that saw more than $12 billion in revenue in just 2022. What the hell? So that didn't make sense. Anyway.
No, I hear what you're saying.
You got that?
Yeah.
Okay, because I understand what I just said. So sports betting is now legal.
Look, it's Stay in the Great podcast. We don't always understand what we say, but we're hoping that you do.
Oh my God. So it says sports betting is now legal, typically for adults age 21 and over in 34 states.
Wow, I didn't know it was that many.
And Washington, D.C., and in 25 jurisdictions in the U.S., gamblers can bet online.
Well, right, and that's what I've always known is as you know, like I've talked about it before, and I've done it off and on for years now, and you do it legally through offshore.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're running web, as long as there's a I sound so old. The internet's out there. And people are online, they can run these companies offshore, and it's legal. I mean, they can't. Transferring funds gets complicated sometimes if the banks have a problem. Look, I don't mean to get into like the like I sound like a mobster or something. Like back when in my offshore account, the transactions weren't coming through.
You had to go down to the corner.
Go down to the
talk to Mickey.
Drop the bag off underneath the bridge.
Right.
None of it was like that, and now it's even easier. And I've had nothing positive experiences. It's not like it's hard to get when you want to withdraw. It's not hard to get it back out.
When you have both your legs, both your arms, so you must have done well.
Yeah. Trey, you know what happens is at the beginning of the year, I'm like, well, I'm going to start with this much, and then when I make it back, I'll pull it out, and then I'm just playing with what they call house money.
House money, yeah.
And then at the end of the year, I basically have like $30. It's like it's just up and down all year, and it all evens out. So it's pointless. I spend weeks and weeks researching and looking at teams, and then it just all evens out.
Yeah.
So
it says this industry has generated more than $3.4 billion in tax revenue. That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
So and I know they've been talking about trying to make a gambling facility here in Texas. I don't understand why. Everybody's.
I'm telling you,
all that money's going to Oklahoma. Or Vegas.
Gambling in general, not just sports gambling, but I mean even more so. I mean, you and I have been up to Oklahoma, the casino up there, and they have golf course and all the concerts and good foods and bars and all that. It's all up there, and you go up just across the state line. So they knew what they were doing. Because Texas doesn't allow gambling, and it's not just sports. people have. I mean, I would honestly say gambling is probably one of the most addictive things in the world.
Oh, absolutely.
Over substances like, maybe not alcohol, but other substances. I mean, it's something where you get that. It's like, I hate to say that it's like golf, but you golf, you have that one shot that maybe you hole it out from 40 out and on 18 you're going
always on 18.
That's why I'm going to come back the next day.
Let's play
another commercials round. That joke around about that and stuff like that. It's the same thing with gambling, whether it's sports or whether it's whatever. You hit that jackpot just once, or even like a small win.
Right.
I won 200 this weekend. Next weekend it can be 500.
Yeah.
It's just, and that's of course the reason that it's addictive. And you're going, should we be doing this? What do you think? I mean, I don't mean to turn a fun story into a topic, but do you think that we need to take a step back on the gambling thing? I mean, or do you think the country should be allowed to do what they want to do?
I mean, if we're taking a stance like that, I mean, what's us to keep us from saying, okay, well, you're only allowed to buy one bottle of alcohol per month?
That's true. And wow, you really knew how to hit me hard there.
Or smoke a joint,
right?
Every 2 weeks. So it's like I mean, if we're going to do that for gambling, then
sure.
What's to keep it from happening to alcohol?
Well, but that's my point, though, is that alcohol is that's a whole other topic. If you're talking about marijuana, state by state, they're starting to introduce it recreationally, and of course, medically, it's a whole different ballgame. But then with the gambling, it's coming in and.
Look at the tax revenues. Why would Congress
because they might care about the American people and the fact that people...
Do they?
No, probably not. But the people are probably losing their homes and their family.
But as long as they've got this tax revenue coming
That's true.
in,
we can better the country.
They'll buy more tents for them to use as out there underneath the bridges and stuff.
Well, they sure take care of those gamblers in those tents.
Right.
Yeah. No.
I mean, that'll stop them from gambling right there.
I think that it should be legal. I think you have to have some boundaries, but at the same time, okay, whatever. I mean, you're an adult. I mean, a 15-year-old shouldn't be able to gamble,
right.
But if you're an adult, like most topics we talk about,
right,
it's your deal. You lose your money, I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm with you. I just was playing the other side of it.
Yeah, and look at Rain Man. I mean, he took down a whole casino, and he was a retard. So,
are we allowed to say that?
I don't know. I was quoting Hangover. So,
right. If we quote movies, we should be allowed to say
we're okay with that.
And it's also the different pronunciation, so it works.
And we're adults, so we're allowed to.
There you go.
Anyway, so it says the U.S. has overtaken the U.K. as the biggest regulated online gambling market in the world.
Whoa, really? Because I know the U.K. was like the U.K. Look, Trey, as we all know, I don't mean to interrupt you again. But we all know I lived in Scotland, in the UK, for a couple of years. Every corner, you could walk in and just do a ticket for any sports. You could do any gambling you wanted to do in these little facilities. I mean, it was like a 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
But for gambling everywhere. And so I never thought we'd pass those guys. We passed those guys?
We did pass those guys. It says...
Eat your heart out, UK.
And as the industry continues to grow, concerns are rising that addition to sports gambling could become a national crisis, is what it says.
Well, you don't say. By the way, just another thing that we kicked the British ass at, besides the Revolutionary War, is our gambling.
Our gambling.
Right.
And it does say on here a couple of gambling tips, safer gambling tips. Treat betting as an entertainment expense.
Right, I hear that all the time.
Set a money limit in advance.
Right.
Set a time limit in advance. Walk away from your losses. Be aware of how you're feeling.
That one's funny.
Keep other entertainments in the mix.
Okay.
Take frequent breaks.
What are they saying? If you gamble too much, you won't get to go see that movie?
I guess. Instead of going to bet $500, go see a movie instead and spend $500 on concessions.
I like that.
And then it says, be careful if you drink or do drugs. Well, no shit.
Right.
That should happen whether or not you're gambling or not.
Well, very true, but I'm not going to lie to you. There have been a lot of picks I've put in after quite a bit of scotch.
Yeah.
I wake up and I look at who I put. I'm like, what the? Why did I pick?
I bet that one.
And most of the times, again, it all evens out. But sometimes I'm like, oh, yeah, I meant to do that. And when they win, when they lose, I'm like, oh, I was drunk.
When you start betting on the Little League World Series, you know you're...
I think the weirdest thing I've ever bet on was cricket.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't know that cricket takes like a month. Did you know that?
Holy shit, no.
So there's a match, and then it continues on, and then like once or twice a week they reconvene and they continue the match. I don't understand cricket at all.
At all. Yeah.
But I'm sitting here going, well, how come the result's not done? And then I looked it up, and it's like some cricket matches take this long, and I was like, okay, so I literally have to wait for my $25.
A year later, you found
I think
out.
I won. I think I won, and it hit, and I was like, oh, where'd this come from? And it's like, oh yeah, that cricket match I bet on like
3 years
18
ago.
months ago. Yeah. So,
I want to know what you were drinking the night you
Yeah.
decided I want to bet on cricket. This is a good idea.
needless to say, I didn't bet on cricket again, but there's been some interesting ones that you look at and you go, why not?
Yeah.
I've been at a bar before. You sit down there and you're just bullshitting, and you got a tennis match on. Well, okay, why not? $10 or $5,
Yeah.
even $5. Just throw it on a guy. It makes it interesting.
Like a midget pickleball league,
Yes, that was the other night.
That was the other one?
That's Wednesday nights.
Yeah.
But I mean, seriously though, that's what makes it fun. Otherwise, why would I wouldn't care about
Right.
that. Maybe that tennis match.
Right.
But now you get to sit there, have your cocktail, your cold beer, or whatever, and you get to win or lose $5.
Some random ass shit. Yeah.
Your bill's going to be for alcohol. Bill's going to be there anyway. You might as well either throw.
That makes sense.
So anyway, so I don't know if I feel like gambling is good for this country, but
Why not?
why not?
Why not?
Anyway, go ahead. I've interrupted you.
No, that was my story about gambling. So
Why don't we do some? Why don't we help our gamblers out with some picks?
with our locks of the week.
Yeah, I think last time we mentioned on when we record early in the week, we're gonna give you some picks. These are our locks of the week. One game, all the marbles, and both of us are guaranteeing that something will happen.
Yeah, it could be good, could be bad.
Yeah, but something will happen, and I think I'm going to let my man go first. But again, it's you look through these. We looked vehemently through them, and
What does vehemently mean?
it means we went into great detail
Oh, okay.
when we analyzed these picks. So go first, and let's help our gambling brethren out.
So in honor of the Bills,
We talked a lot about the Bills.
they're on the road this week against the Reds. Oh, sorry, the Commanders.
Oh, can't say the
Yeah.
Redskins anymore.
So Commanders are at home, and if I'm reading this correctly, it says Buffalo minus 6.5.
That means Buffalo is favored by
Favored by 6.5 points. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Commanders
Whoa.
and the 6.5 points
Ooh, interesting.
at home.
Okay. Washington Commanders plus the 6.5.
Right.
Which for people
Maybe I
that
should write this
for
down.
people
We were going to forget this
for
shit.
people that don't know, I'll remember because I know that our friend is going to be. I'll tell him that you win against this team.
6.5.
Basically, if Washington gets 6.5 points, so if Buffalo wins by 6, then Washington wins that bet.
There you
Basically, 6 or less, kind of a deal.
And he can be happy too.
And so there you go. I mean, if Buffalo wins the game, Trey can still win the bet. That's
Right.
what the spreads do. So I just confused it more, didn't I? Either way, I'm going to go college for everybody.
Okay.
This is an interesting one because if on the outset you'll be like, Ryan, are you doing the same drugs as that guy in Buffalo?
All right.
Have you in fact rubbed shit on yourself?
Not yet.
And I have not yet. I'm going to go with an early game on Saturday, 11 a.m. ABC.
Holy shit, that is early.
Yeah. I'll be at my kid's soccer game, but whatever.
The porta potties aren't even full by then.
The Florida State Seminoles
Okay.
have been a surprise in my opinion this year. They've been very good. They struggled this last weekend, but so did a lot of good teams.
Yeah.
Maybe yours is one of them, I'm not
Yeah.
sure, but they struggled too. And then they pulled away. But they are on the road. You're going to love this one.
Florida State on the road. Okay.
Against Clemson.
Oh,
The
interesting.
Clemson Tigers, who have won a couple championships and are kind of known to be the ACC's top team.
Right.
I don't think that's the case anymore. I think that Clemson has looked very pedestrian. I think this new quarterback that they have, Klubnik, is not what he was panned out to be.
Well, not with that name.
Right. I mean, that's how we base things.
Yeah.
But I think Florida State's going to go in there, and Florida State is favored, but they're favored only by 2 points.
Okay.
Just win by a field goal. And I think that they do. I really do. Something about it just tells me Clemson's done for now, and Florida State's kind of on the rise. So
I'm writing Florida State
minus two. That's it. So those are our picks.
If you lose, not our fault.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about either of those now that we've said them.
Now that it's out there in the
Washington Commanders plus 6.5. Florida State Seminoles minus 2. Both on the road. What are we thinking? But anyway,
hey, that's how we roll.
Those are our picks. So we'll see how we do. And you know what? If you gamble and lose money, you can write Trey at Stay in the Gray podcast and let him know that you're not unhappy.
Right.
So
not our fault.
Yep, not our fault. All right, on from sports. No more football.
No more sports.
No more sports.
Got it.
Just today.
So Ryan, I've got another story here for you. I
love how you say it.
I've got a
so
young
Ryan. Like I'm not. So Ryan.
Ryan.
Pay attention.
Guess what?
Go ahead. Another story.
So this was interesting. I think we touched on this at one point about where a woman that was dying wanted to have sex one more time with an ex.
Oh, right.
Remember that?
Yes. That was intense. Yeah.
So we've got this young lady that went on Reddit, and the original
young lady. Does she have a given age?
This particular lady is 22.
20. So we're not talking about old ladies. This is a young woman.
Right.
22. Okay, 22-year-old woman on Reddit.
So she posted to Reddit asking for relationship advice. She's struggling with guilt over her feelings of jealousy.
Sorry, if you need relationship advice,
jump on Reddit.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Woman's boyfriend ultimately had sex with a dying friend.
Whoa.
And
okay, so the woman that wrote into Reddit or put a post, her boyfriend slept with his friend. I'm assuming it's a girl.
It was a woman, yes.
I mean, not woman. That there's any. I mean, it could have been guys, fine, but in this case, it was a woman.
Right. So they had kind of
she was dying.
She was dying. Yeah, she was terminally ill. Young woman.
Okay.
They had like some type of farewell vacation, and
just the friend and the boyfriend.
It doesn't say how many people went on this particular story.
Ooh, I bet. Ooh, it would be better if the girlfriend was there, like in the next room.
Oh, that would be horrible. Yeah.
I mean, horrible for her.
Banging on the walls and shit.
Horrible for her, but for this story, it'd be fantastic.
So she went online asking the internet, obviously. So she discovered that her boyfriend had slept with a terminally ill friend during a farewell vacation.
And we don't know what the illness was.
I have read through this multiple times, and most of it's talking about how emotional everything was, as far as the boyfriend entered extended and deep depression following the death of his friend. She also stated, this jealousy is eating her up. I just know that it wasn't just sex. They totally had emotional sex because of her condition. I don't even know who initiated it. It was probably something like how she didn't want to die a virgin. So,
because of her condition.
Maybe because of her condition.
You know, have you seen some of those movies? I honestly haven't seen them all. I've seen a few. Of this guy, I forget his name, but he writes all the teenager movies about the one girl that was terminally ill and she didn't want to fall in love with this guy, and she's like 16,
right?
And then she does, and then he finds out, and it's John Green or John. It's a very common name, but anyway, that's what this sounds like. It sounds like there was some sort of emotion because she had a condition. If she was still a virgin, let's say in her early 20s, I'm assuming she's probably the same age as they are. Then it was probably a condition or a disease that she's had. I don't think it just came on 2 months earlier. Maybe it did. That's why I feel like this was bad reporting, not from you, but from the writer of the article. But
there's a lot of other emotions going on because I guess this boyfriend's gone into depression.
So there's got to be more there.
He's depressed about this death of this friend.
So something more is there, Trey.
And actually, it says in here, she said, "I wouldn't have found out if one of our mutual friends didn't slip." She said, "My boyfriend and the girl."
Was she in the bed as well?
Is there a videotape of this? No. But she says, "I'm confident."
It's on, what do you call it? What's
YouTube. YouPorn.
YouPorn.
Yeah. YouTube shit.
Okay, go ahead.
But she's saying I'm confident that there was no attraction as far as the boyfriend wasn't attracted to the girl. So they never had a relationship. She did have a secret crush. She was the little sister of their friend group, so she might have even been a little bit younger than 22-year-old age. Said he was visiting the hospital when she died. He never had a death in the family. So a lot of this is talking about the emotions of, I guess how close the friend was to this.
I wonder if this guy I wonder if this guy in general, regardless of her condition, had more feelings for this girl.
But based on this story, it's saying that she hasn't expressed her jealousy because she's dead anyway. So it's like,
oh,
I guess you don't have to worry about it happening again.
So what, is she just pissed? I mean, like, well, then why tell the story?
Right. I guess she's reaching out to see if her feelings are valid or...
Do you remember... Okay, we had Meg on the show. Anybody that's listened... And I feel like I say this every show. Hopefully a lot of you have listened a lot. But we had one of our friends, Meg, come on. And she likes to talk about Reddit. And she said... a lot of people go on and say, hey, am I the asshole?
Yep.
And it sounds like kind of one of those things deals, where the girl's going, am I wrong for feeling one way or the other? And I don't know. I mean, I think if the roles were reversed, and my boyfriend would, if the roles were reversed, and like, let's say my wife was like, I'm sorry, but I slept with, this guy, he was a good friend of ours, and I knew him, and he was on his deathbed, and all he wanted was, one last roll in the hay. I don't even know where roll in the hay came from, but we're going to go with that. And she did that. The guy's gone, so it's not like I'm ever going to look at this person and say, God, you slept with my wife. Like, it's not there, but I don't know how I don't think I'd be happy. I think it would be as if he was alive.
Yeah.
I think I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's like, it does say in here that they've been together for 3 years. There's never been any issues with infidelity.
Well, that's what I mean. Does that make it better or worse?
So, yeah, I don't.
Anyway. Okay.
Actually, the girlfriend was invited, but she declined.
Whoa. Hold on.
I'm sorry, on the vacation. Sorry. On the vacation. Sorry.
Okay. That's okay. I apologize because that would have changed the entire thing.
The entire story, yeah.
Yeah. She was invited into the bedroom. That would have been great. Anyway.
But I guess there was it says a group of 7 of them, including the boyfriend and the girl.
So she was invited on the trip.
Yeah. Invited on the trip. But she declined. Said beach getaways aren't her thing. I bet she wish she went now.
Wait, really? So she just because she doesn't love the beach, she'd let her boyfriend go on this trip?
She said she was kind of acquaintances with the rest of the group, so she didn't want to intrude on her final trip with the friends. And this, she goes...
I don't know. That still sounds weird.
But she actually said in here at some point that she actually said if they would have came and talked to her, she said she probably would have been okay with it.
No, really?
That's what she.
Do you believe? Do you believe that? You think if they approached her and said, we'd like to go ahead and bang because so and so over here is dying, and whatever. I just can't imagine she's like, what, here, go for it.
And she actually says, I think it's so messed up that sleeping with him specifically was one of the girl's dying dreams.
Oh.
But maybe she didn't care anymore because she was going to leave us anyway. So she's like, I don't care what feelings I leave behind because I'm gone anyway.
So one of her dying dreams was to sleep with this guy.
That's what she thinks. That's what she thinks. That's what she thinks.
Man, this whole thing's. You know what? For such a who cares? Their 20-year-old's kind of story. This has got some information that's missing.
Crazy, yeah.
I need some more info. I want to interview these people.
We want to bring them on.
Yeah.
From the dead.
Yeah, I mean, Trey and I we're planning on having. We really are planning on having a lot more people on the show, but I'd like these people, not the girl from the dead. That was just weird.
He said he did confess to the girlfriend that he felt kind of awkward around her afterwards, but he tried to move past it because they were friends and she was literally dying.
So I get okay. So that's a good point. So they had sex, and then she was still alive for how long? Do we know?
Well, the trip it didn't say after that. The trip was 3 days, 2 nights. It didn't say how long after that she passed. So I guess.
And that you know what, on a story like this, that matters. So we need better.
Like, was it 15 years later?
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they've only been together for 3 years.
This happened
total.
in 1978. Yeah.
No. So yeah, I'm assuming it was fairly soon afterwards.
Yeah.
You know?
Either, I mean, okay, let's just agree that there are a lot of things that can go into the story that could change kind of the outlook. But the premise is, if this girl is dying, she's literally going to die, and she just wants to have sex with this guy, but this guy's in a relationship over here with this other young lady. Was it wrong of him? That's what I'm going to ask. And I think it was, because I don't care. I mean, it sucks that this girl's dying, but that's not his responsibility.
Yeah.
Unless they approach the girlfriend and for some weird reason she goes, yeah, go ahead and bang her silly until she dies.
Yeah, I think if there was a discussion before, as far as, okay, this is what she wants final, are you okay with this?
Yeah.
You know?
Other than that, you can't go behind her back and say, but she's dying.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't, I mean, that's still... Okay, we're on the same. Okay, all right.
And apparently, based on the story, the girl that died wasn't friends with this woman anyway. So,
they weren't.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she was just acquaintance with all of them.
Yeah, I bet.
That's why she didn't go on the trip. So
I doubt. I like that little.
She's going away anyway, so she's like, I don't care if I heard this.
Yeah, I like that little snippet you put in where you're like, I bet you wish she went now.
Yeah.
To the trip. Anyway,
and I wonder if it would have happened at that point.
Well, that's what I'm saying is that
if they would have a discussion, because obviously if the girlfriend's there, however it ended up happening, I was reading in here that he might have been tipsy a little bit, somebody might have kissed somebody, blah blah blah. They don't know who actually initiated.
You're kidding. On a beach vacation, people are tipsy and they end up banging. Like, okay, I'm shocked. Anyway, I need to know more, but I still think that guy shouldn't have done it. That's my final answer.
Final answer.
Yeah.
I have to agree with you.
Okay. So all that,
and we both agree.
Well, just to say he shouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
But at least maybe it got everybody thinking, because these situations are interesting. I mean, when you involve death, how does emotional sex or unemotional sex, how does that, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I just feel like if there's death involved, does sex stay as serious as it does if death is not involved? Does that make any sense at all? Probably not.
I guess the whole fact that he's in a relationship too, just adds a whole different dynamic.
It's still cheating. I don't care.
And apparently he was very emotional about all this. So it's like, was there any feelings there?
I think I'm going to say there were feelings there.
So
that's how I'm going to end it, just to leave a little intrigue. But anyway. All right.
You want to move on from that?
Yeah, I think we beat that down to the ground.
Yeah.
I think I want answers, and I'm not going to get them.
Yeah.
Because this woman's dead.
She can't really. Let's hope we don't talk to her.
She can't give us the answers, and other than that, it's kind of like, well, is it wrong or right? And we're both like, it was wrong, and then okay, let's move on.
So she's okay to feel jealous about this and everything.
I think she has every right to be upset that she was not approached.
Gotcha. Does she move on now? Because, is he going to find another excuse?
Well, that's up to her, but that's where it gets interesting, because the whole once a cheater, always a cheater thing. Yeah. I don't know. Does it apply to once a cheater with a dead girl? Always a cheater. I mean, if he has another friend that becomes terminally ill.
Fair game.
Is all of a sudden
gosh.
All of a sudden she's a little more skeptical. She's like, who you going out with tonight? That terminally ill.
Yeah. I saw the handicap van pull up. You're not leaving with her.
Or it's like, oh no, it's just Katie. She's fine. Have fun.
Shit.
So there's some more. There's some more here that you have to dig into psychologically. Trey and I are not psychologists, but we pretend to be.
All right. So
Move on. Take me
Move
away.
on. Take you away.
Take me away.
All right, so I've got an interesting.
Look at you. God, you're finding
I've got a fun
stories.
story about a DUI. And it's not in Florida, but it probably should be in Florida.
DUI.
A DUI.
For those that are stupid, a DUI is what, Trey?
Driving under the influence?
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
That is correct.
So in this particular story, it was an Indiana man was arrested for driving under the influence. And the cops executed this traffic stop. It's a 51-year-old man. I keep trying to find bits about the story because I don't want to tell you the.
You don't want to hear the punchline right away.
The punchline right away.
All right, fair enough.
It's hard trying to find this.
So 51-year-old Indiana stopped by the cops.
Basically behind the wheel, he said he was methed out of his brain, is what they were saying.
Okay, so yeah.
So he was taken to jail on a felony charge of operating a vehicle, which is kind of interesting.
Well, operating a vehicle methed out.
Methed out.
Right.
That warrants being taken to jail, right? Okay.
Absolutely.
So the vehicle that he was operating was.
I can't. Look. I'm going to hear the answer in about 2 seconds, and I can't wait.
It was a Power Wheels Jeep.
No, this can't be real.
So he's in a Power Wheels Jeep.
No. You mean like the little things that like 3-year-olds get into that I have in my garage right now for my 3.5-year-old.
So, and maybe the dumbass was on a roadway. Maybe that's why he ended up getting arrested. But
can you get
arrested for driving a Power Wheels Jeep?
I think I'm on the meth head side.
I mean, he should be able to take some meth and drive around in a Power Wheels.
I guess if he's in the middle of the road, but even then, you drive at your own risk.
So yeah.
So okay, hold on. I just want to make sure that I'm not wrong here. When you say a Power Wheels Jeep, you're talking about one of those little Jeeps that is electric.
Little electric battery, whatever the hell it is.
And it's still, you can press the pedal and it goes.
Yeah.
But he's just in it like.
Yeah. And the way this guy looks, he probably could fit in a Power Wheels Jeep.
That's fantastic. So he's a little guy.
But it's a kid's Power Wheel Jeep, yeah.
And he was on meth.
Why can't you do meth and drive a Power Wheels and not get arrested?
I don't know. We should start some sort of
a protest.
You know what? That's going to be the next poll question.
Let's protest on the streets in a
Power
Wheel.
Protest in the street.
And we'll be methed out.
And I'm going to ask a poll question. Should you be able to meth out and drive a Power Wheel Jeep up and down the road?
This is America, goddammit.
Yeah. Who gives a shit if you're on a Power Wheel Jeep?
So yeah.
If you're in a real Jeep, I might have an issue with it, but a Power Wheel Jeep.
So yeah, this the writer said
that's funny. I like
don't
that.
Smoke meth and drive Power Wheels down the road. Okay, that should be as simple as that.
I like that. That was good.
So hopefully we find one in Florida doing the same shit, because we know how much.
Indiana.
Yeah, that was an Indiana one. I'm gonna send you that story.
Yeah, so. Yeah. We gotta. Is there? You said there's a picture.
Oh yeah, there's a picture.
Oh, we got. Yeah, we gotta have the picture of this. That's greatness.
His mugshot, his eyes aren't even open, and I swear they don't show his teeth, but you can only assume.
Yeah.
You could probably count them on one hand.
Right.
So. Yeah.
That's good. I like that one. Funny story.
Good times.
Good times. What facts do we have any more crazy deaths, or are we gonna do facts?
I've got some fun death ones.
I love fun death ones.
You like fun death ones?
Sure, fun death is great.
So I think you got a chuckle out of this one, so we'll go with this one. So the headline is "Assault with a Deadly Wedgie."
Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't know the story, but I got a chuckle out of the headline for sure. Well, because take a guess. I don't. How could that go ahead?
So, a gentleman by the name of Denver St. Clair.
Okay.
Was found dead in Oklahoma, with the waistband of his underpants wrapped around his neck.
Oh.
After his stepson, Brad Davis, performed an atomic wedgie.
I don't even know exactly what an atomic wedgie is, but I imagine it's a pretty intense wedgie.
It's an intense it's. I'll proceed to tell you this. So the men allegedly.
Do you know what it is?
It says it in the story.
Oh, okay. All right. You didn't have one done to you when you were...
No, thank God.
Okay, good.
And knowing some of my friends, I'm kind of surprised. Anyway, so the men allegedly began to fight before St. Clair allegedly tried to punch Davis. So the former Marine pulled a deadly move straight off the playground. Says police said Denver had died after an alcohol-fueled argument when his stepson had yanked the elastic of his underpants up over his head. An autopsy found that he was killed by blunt force trauma and or asphyxiation, and Davis pleaded guilty to manslaughter.
Pleaded guilty.
He pulled the waistband up over his head and strangled his ass with the waistband of his underwear.
So it wasn't like accidentally around his neck. Like he pulled it up and said, "Nope."
Yep. Fuck you.
Man, can you imagine?
I wonder what the argument was about.
That's what I'm saying. It was something so stupid.
Some dumb shit like this.
Stupid. Yeah. God, people are...
Idiots.
Calm down, everybody. If you want to punch somebody, fine. But let's
not strangle them with their underwear.
Yeah. As soon as you do that, I think you've crossed...
That is taking it way too far.
I think you've crossed the line. That one's good. I like that. All right.
So another one that jumps out at me is a headline. It says, size doesn't matter.
Bullshit. No, I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Says, we all know that dogs can be killers, especially packs of dogs. But in May...
Well, it depends on the dogs.
Well...
A pack of Chihuahuas, I'm not going to... Okay, go ahead.
How about some weenie dogs?
Some weenie dogs?
Yeah.
Like, what are they called? The Dachshunds?
Dachshunds.
Okay.
Dachshunds?
Dachshunds. The weenie dog. The hot dog.
Yeah. So in May of 2018, a group of feral Dachshunds, or sausage dogs, who lived in the nearby woods, attacked and killed a 52-year-old mother of two.
Oh, no.
In Oklahoma. So there's some weird shit. So we got Billy Bob down here strangling with underwear, and then we got a bunch of little weenie dogs attacking this.
You're telling me that these little little weenie dogs, the Dachshunds or whatever,
attacked and killed a 52-year-old, and that's not even an old woman either.
No, like how many? Like a pack? Like you said, there was a bunch.
It's a pack. Let's see if it says.
Well, a pack. I mean, I imagine is more than two. So 4 or 5 of these things, like
yeah. Well, you would even think 4 or 5. You could kick the shit out of.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Dogs.
Can't she just like knock them off?
You would think so. It says poor Tracy Garcia suffered one of the most unusual deaths in history, and she hadn't even done anything to provoke the little dogs. It says she was simply standing outside of her home when 7 small dogs pounced.
God.
6 were Dachshund,
yeah, the little
dogs,
hot dogs,
terrier mixes, and 1 was to be a border collie mix. So maybe the border collie did.
Yeah, I was going to say
damage.
One's a Rottweiler.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well,
one's a pit bull.
Yeah, but it was a pack of weenie
6
dogs.
weenie dogs is what fucked her up.
They were like, we got him. Once the Rottweiler has her down, the weenie dogs start kicking her.
You see the little legs?
Yeah, bitch. Lay down.
I told you to leave some food out.
Stay down.
God damn it. It says all of them were under 40 pounds with legs shorter than an
so
adult
weird.
hand.
The
police actually shot 1 dog and the rest were put down.
What was this lady doing, though, that she couldn't just, like...
kick the shit out of them?
Swipe them away.
Especially the weenie dog. I can understand maybe the border collie.
Well, the border collie, I'm fine, but that's, we can have some bite marks. That's fine, whatever. But, like...
So, yeah.
Anyway, that's a shitty way to go.
So, see, size doesn't matter. Those little weenie dogs fuck shit up.
Apparently. The next time I see one of those assholes on the road,
just go kick the shit out of them.
Just stay over there.
Yeah, you little fucker.
Someone's walking, watch them have like 2 of them, and I just will run up and just kick the shit.
Right. Well, even when I'm out riding my bike, you see these people that are walking their dogs, and it's like the way they grab the leash on these fucking dogs is like they're gonna kill somebody if they actually get away. I'm like, really?
Yeah, you talked about that on the show.
So
that's the thing though, is they know something you don't.
Right.
And that's when you're going.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. These fucking weenie dogs.
When I yell left, I'm gonna go way left.
Right.
And I'm not even gonna take a chance.
Like a different street,
Different.
So, that was my
those are fun. So killed by weenie dogs and was the other one?
Atomic wedgie.
Atomic wedgies.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I love these. We gotta find plenty of these.
Yeah.
These are fun. Yeah.
Look on the internet.
And you know it's so weird that I'm like, these are fun. Death. These people are dying.
Some crazy shit. They're giving us content.
But man, it's kind of like thinning the herd. It's kind of like if you're gonna die by a group of weenie dogs, maybe it was meant to happen.
Yeah. That's definitely your time if you die by weenie dogs.
Watch tomorrow. I'm gonna get attacked by weenie dogs and
trip over a fucking cricket or something.
Yeah.
And fall down the stairs.
Right.
God damn it.
All right. Let's end with our self-awareness. I'll never say it right. By the way, this is show like 39, and I'm sitting here. I can't say it. An awareness of self-awareness.
Self-awareness.
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go?
Go ahead.
I'm going to take the Trey approach because recently he's decided to talk about how he's trying to be more self-aware of himself.
Oh, I can only imagine where you're going with this.
No, this isn't that big of a deal. No, it's really not. It's going to be underwhelming, but it's something that my wife really got upset at me about not too long ago, and I want to know what you think. And she's right. Well, besides that, obviously she's right. She was the biggest thing that she's been right about is who she married, but so she really gets upset when I don't take RSVPing very seriously.
Okay.
To weddings or to whatever. I'm just like, fuck it. Like, I'm just not gonna go.
Yeah.
And she goes, we need to make sure an RSVP. I'm like, whatever. And she gets angry. She's like, that is rude. They need to know. They've got body counts. And I'm like, well, that sounds morbid, but they got body, and while I understand that, yes, I should probably take the time to check mark the fucking box and put it in the mail, I just usually don't. And that's been
Fish
me.
Your chicken.
And I admit it, that's something that I would be willing to change about myself for my wife. Are you the same way, or do you RSVP?
I do not RSVP.
So we're kind of similar.
Because what if something comes up? I'm a big what if person. What if?
Yeah, you RSVP, they get you a steak dinner, and then all of a sudden you get a date, and you're like, I'm out of here. I'm going to go.
You twist your ankle.
I'm going to get laid on the roof.
Yeah. You rub shit on yourself in a porta potty and fall down a hole.
I'm in the hospital from a bunch of weenie dogs that have attacked me.
Right. Anything could happen, and then that steak goes to waste.
And I get it. Again, don't get me wrong. I understand. I get it, especially with a wedding and going through a wedding and seeing what all goes into it and the guest lists and all that. I need to be better. I get it. But, man, she got fired up. This is I think she would have been less angry if I had slept with a dying woman.
Oh, yeah.
You didn't RSVP? Well, fuck you.
Yeah.
We slept with. Well, she probably needed some sex before she died. That's how I felt about this RSVP thing. But go ahead.
So let me ask you this then: which one's worse, not RSVPing and showing up, or RSVPing and not showing up?
I'm going to set my bottle of scotch down because that's intense.
Yeah. Makes you wonder.
I'm going to say that, well, not RSVPing and showing up is worse.
That one's worse. Okay.
Well, sure, because they're not anticipating you being there, so they're not going to have enough food or the spot.
You have some cake.
Well, but but people do assigned seating and all that.
You can stand in
the kids' table.
Yeah. So you think that not RSVPing and then showing up is the worst?
I think RSVPing and not showing up sucks, but I still think it's like better than what you can just randomly show up and be like, I didn't RSVP, but here I am.
Here I am. I'm ready to party.
I don't know. That's a good question. I'm going to ask my wife.
Especially if it's open bar.
Well, right. Well,
you definitely RSVP.
Well, all of a sudden you're like, well, I need a drink. Well, I can go to that wedding that I didn't RSVP to.
There you go. So, follow up with that question.
I'm going to ask Olivia. I'm going to ask her. Let's see what she says. What do you think let's bet. Let's gamble. What do you think she's going to say?
I think she'll go with what you said. Or not RSVPing.
Not and then showing up.
I think she'll go with that one.
Okay. Just for fun, I'll go the other way. I think she's so about RSVPing that she'd be like, at least if you RSVP, she'll no. So I'm with you. So she'll say RSVP, and if you don't show up, you don't show up. But RSVPing is so important.
Gotcha.
I think that's what she'll say.
She'll go with that one.
Yeah, I think so. My other one is probably going to be the shortest self-awareness thing ever. In fact, we don't even need to talk about it. I'm just going to tell you what it is. And just don't fucking do it.
And we're not going to talk about it?
We can if you want, but there's no reason to.
Okay.
Don't fucking pop your gum when you're chewing it. That's it.
I like it.
That's it. I don't need to hear the smack of your bubbles in the gum, and just chew the gum. I don't need to hear you popping. It's annoying and gross.
That makes sense. That's perfect.
Right? There's real. Do you like to pop your gum?
No, I'm not a gum chewer.
If you like to pop your gum, then we can have a conversation.
Yeah.
But you don't.
No.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Was that not the fastest self-awareness
Easy
in
breezy.
history?
I like it.
Do you have one?
I don't.
I tell you what, though, Trey.
Most of my ones are at the gym.
No. I tell you what, though, but
shit out of me.
you brought it tonight with the story, so you are off the hook with just everything you did tonight. All these stories that you brought up tonight were your own doing. So.
Oh, you're making me feel warm and fuzzy.
Yeah, I mean, I've been so focused on trying to promote and do all these things, and then all of a sudden I said, "Oh shit, Trey, what do you got?" And he goes,
Tuesday.
"I got lots of shit."
I'm good to go. I started reading some stuff and
You started reading?
reading.
This show has done so much for you.
I tell you what.
But I think that's all we got for tonight, and
Sweet.
yeah, we'll see you guys next time.
Later.
Love you.
Hey, Ryan.
Hey Trey, you're still here.
I might be dying, so I think I'm going to spend the night with you tonight.
As long as you might be dying, Olivia will be okay with it.